Welcome to a new edition of Harness Central. I'm Harold Howe, and as the calendar year winds down, we're here with Dave Menary at the Stevenson Training Center. Dave, from a dollars and cents point of view, your barn didn't have its best year ever, had a very good year, or did it have a great year, given that you got He's Watching to come out of that?
You always want more. I guess I'm greedy. You always want more, but you got to be thankful for what you have. I think our average earnings per start this year was just bang on like it's been the last 3 or 4 years. It's pretty high. I don't know if we're averaging about 6,000 per start. We were down on starts a little bit. It's a little bit of retooling. What's going on with Ontario. You just got to make the best of your opportunities. This year we had a few less opportunities. The year we definitely got off to a slow start. And then, some of our babies were either real good or no good. I was sort of blessed with what I had. I thought my Ontario ones were a little bit weak, but some of the ones in New York made up for it.
Let's just talk about the Ontario scene for a moment. I've been hearing more and more criticism from your fellow trainers. They're having a real problem with the handicapping system now, and they're pointing to the fact there's horses leaving left and right to go to New York and Meadowlands and so forth. What's your take? I mean, you're right on the front line with horses that race in overnights as well as stakes and whatnot. Are you happy enough with the way things are in that regard, given what we've got to work with? Or do you think we should be going to the AVC system? Or what's your take?
I think it can go both ways. I don't know if there's a right answer for sure. It's been a transition, I think, for everybody. It's not what it was. But I think I'm finding the best way we can work with it, and things change. You just got to change with them. I hope things have hit bottom and are going to stay the same or get better.
And what is the best way to work with it when you've got a mixed stable like yours?
I think we've mostly concentrated on young horses. So when we're aiming for stake races, and then we have to find voids in between stake races. But with the young horses, it doesn't matter where you train. If I train here in Waterdown, or if I train in Florida or New York or New Jersey, until the young horses get ready, it doesn't really matter where you are.
But what about the overnights?
The overnights are tougher. When you look at places in the States, they have so many different options, especially the time of year. If you can go to Chester and Pocono and the Yonkers and the Meadowlands, that gives you a lot of options. Here for upper end horses, it's Woodbine or Woodbine. It's really tough to go out and get top end race horses. If you hit the wrong class, or if the class doesn't fill, or if you lock a Bearcat that you're going to face for 2 months, and you paid a lot of money for a horse, and there's a horse in that class that you can't beat for 2 or 3 months, you're just beating up your investment.
Okay, let's switch gears here and talk about He's Watching. Obviously, he's a very clever horse because he's in a hell of a lot warmer climate than you and I are. He's at Olive Branch Farm for the moment in North Carolina, doing a little R&R, and this comes after a perfect season. 8 wins, destroyed the New York Sire Stakes, made virtually $300,000, and yet he didn't get a sniff when it came to Canadian 2-year-old Pacing Colt of the Year.
I guess 3 qualifiers here weren't enough. I was pretty honored. I've never had that kind of nomination for myself for a horse. So he's nominated for Dan Patch Award, and I appreciate that. But it's not really about the awards. I'm pretty proud of what he did all year this year. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I look forward to next year.
Right. Obviously, he didn't have enough starts to be eligible for an O'Brien. But how did you see him realistically against all those horses he never got to face?
And He's Watching has all eyes on him as he comes to the finish. Second is Sir Sam Zetan, but it's going to be all He's Watching. It's just a matter of how much time. And the time of 150 flat is a new Vernon Downs track record for 2-year-old Colt Pacers.
I would have liked to have the opportunity. I don't think anybody can question his speed. I think he did it every which way. He overcame breaks, he overcame bad posts, he overcame small tracks, and he just did it like breaking sticks. There's a lot more in the tank, but you don't get paid for going fast. So, he was over. He never had a blemish on his record. Even to overcome breaks, and hopefully we can carry on doing that.
A number of people have commented that they were a nice collection of 2-year-olds, but there is nobody that can consistently jump up, grab the throat of the rest of the field, and do it every week. So going into 2014, the argument is it's wide open. Do you see it like that?
Oh, I definitely agree. And, I think as far as Dan Patch voting goes, a colt that never left New York before maybe might not get the nod. With the world records and track records he set everywhere he went. I think he really turned a lot of heads, and he had a big following. He had his own blog in New York. This is the kind of year where horses go fast, now all the way around. And there's a lot of colts that took big marks, but there wasn't no dominant colt. There wasn't anybody that wins stake races week in, week out. And, I'm looking forward to taking on all comers.
I said you've got him down at Olive Branch Farm with Chris Coyle, who had never seen the horse before, as I recall, before you sent him to him. And what reports is he coming back to you with?
He's honored to have the colt there. I know Chris is doing a great job. We talk a couple times a week. He's watching down there, and two of my other top 2-year-olds, so they're living it up. But I know they're in really good hands. They're booked in to come home January 6th, and I'm looking forward to having them back. My partner Joe Mascara has been down there and seen the colt, and Chris is just in awe every day. He's just full of energy, and he really acts the part.
You and your partner sold half interest in the horse, and as we go into the new year, are you happy that you did it, or would you rather have all of them?
I think that for me, this is a way to have my cake and eat it too. I think we have a great partnership. Brad Graham, Mike Guerrero are two of the best partners you could ever have. The colt's been very good for us. Every time I've sold them and every time I've raced them, it's gone pretty well. But I think we've brought another good partner on board with the Mascara family. They're a great group of people. All our dealings so far have been super. The deal went smooth, and hopefully I can do my job racing the colt out of his career. And they have a lot of experience if he is good enough to go to the shed. I think they've been down that path where that's not my specialty.
He had a perfect season. You guys are all superstitious. Are you spooked by the fact that you saw a horse like Wheelin' and Dealin', who no one on the planet would have ever predicted last May would be unable to win a race in his 3-year-old year? Does stuff like that weigh on your mind a little bit?
Not really. I don't know the total circumstances with Wheelin' and Dealin', but it's tough for any horse, I guess. It's different. Any horse coming back from 2 to 3, things can change. I know our season ended, early, which I was pretty happy with, and we never stretched the colt out. And, I jogged him down after his last start in the New York Sire Stakes final. He was here, he was home. He kind of vetted out super. And when we put the deal together, he vetted out perfect. And he headed to Pocono the weekend of the Breeders' Crown final, and then on from Pocono to Olive Branch Farms. And when he left here, I think it was the best he'd ever been. So I know hopefully I'm starting with one that's in good shape, and we can go from there.
The big question in a lot of people's mind about him is his size. I mean, you can't add inches to him, but he's probably going to grow some. Is that a big concern for you?
He's a June foal, and he's not the biggest horse, but he's not the smallest horse. He ended the year, he was just fat on top of muscle. I raced him right out here in Ontario the whole year, and I train hard. I train as hard as anybody, and he's the same. He likes to go fast, so even when he trains, he goes fast. He did a lot of trucking and a lot of hard racing, and he couldn't have ended the year in better shape. So I'm not worried.
Last winter, you said to me when we were doing our videos on 2-year-olds in training, he was your sleeper. Found one yet for this coming year?
I think we got a good group. I ended up right around 25 babies. We got a little variety pack. We got more trotters this year. We got a lot more American sired ones. I would say we're about 50-50 Ontario and U.S. sired ones. I think overall, I've been pretty happy with my top end every year. But this year, I'm pretty excited. I think my middle end and my bottom end of 2-year-olds that we're starting with are a lot better. So sometimes you never know. I'm pretty happy with what everybody's doing right now. There's a few that stand out. The thing I'm happiest with, I don't hate anybody yet. So, when you buy $3,000 ones, you can never repeat that again, but you never know where they come from. We got 6-figure babies, and, I would say right now I got a $6,000 major filly that could go with anything.
Well, Dave, good luck in the coming year, and congratulations on another good year, and we'll be watching, he's watching, and thanks very much.
Thanks, Harold. Thanks very much.
Harold Howe with Dave Menary, giving you the Harness Racing Edge.